Not quite the calm before the storm today, because we are actually going to see some fairly lively weather in the coming hours, but we're still really concerned about the developments out in the Atlantic and Storm Eowyn arriving through tonight and into Friday. Before that, this weather front will bring a spell of wet and windy weather, but the storm is brewing off the eastern seaboard of North America. It doesn't look much at this stage, but it's been intensifying as we've been through the night and will continue to do so during today, becoming a fully blown storm by the time we get to this afternoon. And interacting with the jet stream, a really powerful jet coming across the North Atlantic, and in particular this little jet streak picking up the low and intensifying it further as it approaches the Republic of Ireland during tonight, then pushing it across Northern Ireland and into Scotland. The exact track may vary a little bit, but we're pretty confident the strongest winds are going to be in this zone where the isobars are really squeezing together. So for Northern Ireland, central, southern Scotland, northern England and parts of North Wales, that's where we have an amber warning in place. More on that in just a second, but first of all, let's get through today. As I said, this weather front is moving in, bringing a pretty wet, pretty grim morning rush hour across Northern Ireland. Some heavy bursts of rain as that edges in, and then it pushes into Wales and southwest England. As it does so, the winds will really start to pick up around the west coast of Wales, southwest England, and then as it moves along the south coast of England, we'll see gusty winds as that rain band moves through. Staying pretty wet through the afternoon across northern England, Scotland. Some snow over the Pennines, certainly some snow over the hills and mountains of Scotland as it stays fairly soggy here into this evening. A blustery, gusty day everywhere, but we're a little concerned about the winds really whipping up as that rain band moves through. So we do have a Met Office yellow warning in place. The wind's really whipping up this morning over West Wales, southwest England, and then strengthening through the day also along the south coast. So a spell of gusts of 40, 50, potentially 60 miles an hour that could cause some disruption. Temperature-wise, well, actually, it's going to turn a little milder. Skies brighten through this afternoon over the Midlands, Wales, southwest England, 8, 9, maybe 10 Celsius. Feeling cooler with the breeze, and certainly another chilly one over much of northern England and Scotland as that rain and hill snow continues. Now, that will steadily fizzle out as we go through Thursday evening. A few showers following on behind. Many places dry for a time, but here comes that storm we saw earlier. You can see that circulation, damaging gust of wind, certainly across the Republic of Ireland as that storm system moves in during Thursday night. But then continuing to bring strong winds, potentially disruptive winds for southwest England, Wales, and then strengthening once more through the Irish Sea coast during Friday as the low itself heads across Northern Ireland up into parts of Scotland. There'll be more wet weather as well. Notice how the rain swings through there across England and Wales pretty smartly. So a good chunk of Friday actually just dry and gusty over England and Wales. There will be some snow mixed in again over the hills across Northern Ireland and Northern England through the night, and then lasting for much of the day across the hills and mountains of northern Scotland. So that's another thing we need to watch by the end of Friday, a further 15, potentially 20 centimetres of snow. Obviously, with the strength of the wind, it's not going to feel all that mild, but look at the temperatures. I haven't seen these for a while. Maybe double digits for much of the UK, perhaps 11 or 12 across parts of the south. But as I said, feeling cooler with the winds, although the breeze will be easing down somewhat across southern areas once that rain has moved through. Let's take a closer look, though, at the winds, because they are the biggest issue with this storm system as it continues its track across Scotland. If we rewind and put the gust of wind on, you can see the isobars really close together there in its southwestern quadrant. That's where we're likely to see the strongest winds. So hitting the Republic of Ireland first through the early hours of Friday morning, damaging gust of wind likely here, and then spreading across into Northern Ireland. Another pulse of strong winds for North Wales, northwest England. That will then push across southern Scotland through the central belt potentially as well. Now, this storm could be a little further north, could be a little further south. So these gusts still open to some doubt, but we are now pretty confident that there will be some significant disruption over parts of central, southern Scotland, northern England, North Wales and Northern Ireland. Then the storm heads its way up towards Norway, and still some gusty winds even into Saturday across northern parts of Scotland. Elsewhere, the winds will be easing. So the warnings, yes, we've got the amber warning in place. That's where we're most confident we are going to see disruption. Gusts of 60 to 70 miles an hour. quite widely. Gusts of maybe 80 miles an hour, and potentially in exposed areas, coast and hills, we could see winds higher than that, 80 to 90 miles an hour. Those kind of winds likely to cause structural damage, bring down power cables, bring down branches. Certainly widespread disruption to the transport network is expected. That's in that amber warning zone, but everywhere we'll see gusty winds for a time, further south and further north. So we have yellow wind warnings covering pretty much all parts of the United Kingdom for the winds during Friday. And also rain warning. With that rain coming in today and then further rain across Wales, southwest England, that could cause some issues. And as I mentioned, some significant snow over parts of Scotland also. There's also a wind warning into Saturday across Scotland because, as we saw, that storm will continue to cause some problems here even then. Plenty going on. Please do stay up to date with the latest forecast. Easiest way to do that, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you could hit the thumbs up, that would be really helpful as well. Make sure you're following us right across social media. And for more details on all of those warnings, what they could mean for you, you can check them out in your own time by getting our weather app, our free weather app, or of course you can always visit the Met Office website.